Hello there. What's going on, everyone? Today we got a Vulture class droid fighter preview with an emphasis on Buzz Droids, and Buzz Droids look really cool, so we're going to take a look at everything that they showed us today. And also, I want to remind you guys, I am doing a new giveaway right now. If you'd like to win an expansion of your choice in the form of a $25 Amazon gift card, all you have to do to enter to win that giveaway is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. That is running for about another week and a half, and then we'll have a winner announced. So make sure you stay tuned for that. More details for my giveaways are on Crabbok.com, but I'm running giveaways all the time. So let's talk about this awesome little Wave 3 ship, the Vulture class fighter droid. They previewed a couple of cards today, and I think this is going to be a really fun faction. I had said that I was going to play only, well, not only, but I was going to primary focus on the Republic, and now this is making me think maybe I'll play equal amounts Republic and Separatists, because this one looks fun. The Buzz Droids specifically look fun. But they did kind of show us, so we're just going to kind of go through some of this stuff is stuff we've already seen before. We've got our Initiative 1. All of these guys are your typical, going to be your Swarm, your TIE Fighters, basically. They'll probably be a little cheaper than TIE Fighters. Maybe they'll be about the same as TIE Fighters. We still don't know their exact cost, and that kind of does play a big part in it. I imagine they're going to be very, very close to TIE Fighter and Z95 or Z95 if you prefer prices, because there are 2 attack, only 2 agility, and 3 hull, so they have less survivability than the TIE Fighter. Plus, they can't take a straight up focus. They are taking calculate because these are droid pilots, but they do get that special ability, networked calculations. While you defend or perform an attack, you may spend a calculate token from a friendly ship at range 0 to 1 to change a focus to an evade or a hit. So you know they can spend each other's calculate, so they have networked. They're all working together. Okay, I get that. They do have barrel roll, which you can barrel roll into a calculate if you need to do that. So that's kind of cool. We have our Initiative 3, same thing. Separatist. I imagine there'll be some people preferring this paint job to the other paint job, but that's where they have 2 different versions. Actually, technically, they have 3 different versions, since you can also get a bronzed one at Adepticon. We have our limited precise hunter. You can only have 3 of these in a build. That's what the 3 dots is for. And they have we've seen these guys already. While you perform an attack, if the defender is in your bullseye, you may reroll a blank result, which is pretty nice. They're definitely going to be, they still have Initiative 3, so they're not that high on there, but that's a nice little ability. Rerolls are pretty good. Since I don't know if you'll want to, unless you're running torpedoes and you're firing ordnance, if you're firing the main guns, you're probably taking calculates or barrel rolls for repositioning more so than you're taking target locks. This one is actually pretty cool, though. We have DFS 311, a scouting drone, Initiative 1, and that's an important thing because that means they're going to be moving first. They're going to be a really good blocker, getting into position very, very easily, and also very, very likely to be able to take an action. And that is where it's important for this ability, because at the start of the engagement phase, you may transfer 1 of your calculate tokens to another friendly ship at range 0 to 3. This one is very cool because basically he can move in, block, transfer his token to somebody else who's farther back. I mean, range 3 is pretty far away, so you can transfer it to your higher initiative folks. And the funny thing is, it doesn't say you have to transfer the calculate to another ship that has calculate. So in theory, if you had like Dooku flying, you could transfer a calculate to him. I mean, I don't see what would stop you from doing that. Generally, though, I think you're going to probably more be inclined to transfer a calculate to ships that have a synergy with calculate. And there's certainly a lot of that in this faction. So giving it to a human pilot is probably not going to be as good. You probably want to give it to another droid. But I don't see any reason why you couldn't, if you were to maybe come up with some kind of combo where you want to give an organic pilot a calculate. But either way here, you're probably better off giving it to another droid, like somebody like a Precise Hunter or something like that is going to work a little bit better. Maybe you want to give it to somebody who's got an ordnance that's going to require you to have a calculate to fire a torpedo or something. So, like these energy shell charges, which are actually pretty nice. They're a missile, and you have to have a calculate to attack, and you have to spend a charge. So you don't have to spend the calculate to attack, you just have to have the calculate to attack. So it's nice to be able to have a calculate to attack. Of course, you may want to spend your calculate when you do attack, because when you spend your charge to fire, they only have 1 charge. And While you perform this attack, you may spend a calculate token to change one of your eyeball results to a crit result, which is nice because it's kind of reminiscent of the old school proton torpedoes in a way. I mean, less damage, but you still get that crit. I imagine they won't be too expensive. You know, these will probably be fairly cheap, which is going to actually turn your cheap droid fighters into respectable droid fighters. Works pretty well. Natural synergy. You know, again, it's one thing I like about this first wave 3. A lot of the stuff has just all the combos kind of built into it. Doesn't require you to buy a whole bunch of stuff across the aisle. It has a lot of just build ideas built right into the same expansion pack. So this looks like a pretty good card. But this is where it really gets interesting. This is kind of like the highlight of the preview. These Discord missiles. And it looks like, you know, we were thinking, wait, is this on a V19? No, they're hitting a V19. It's not something that's going to come with the V19. Especially the thing that should factor in for you there is that this is separatist only. And that's probably going to bum some people out. But, you know, it makes sense. It would be kind of cool, though, if, like, the Rebels had access to something like this. Because I know at least in, I believe, one of the books, you know, there was, Syndulla, Cham Syndulla was using some of this type of stuff. Like, you know, some of the Rebels used a lot of old Trade Federation stuff too, but balance has to trump every conceivable fluff option there is. Otherwise, you could just have anybody, you know, Darth Vader was a good guy for like a moment when he threw the Emperor over, so he should be a rebel too. No. Anyway, separatist only. It's a missile slot. And this one is cool because it's not really acting exactly like a missile because for one, it's not an attack. It's at the start of the engagement phase. You may spend a calculate and a charge to launch a Buzz Droid swarm using one of your 3 templates, your 3 bank or 3 straight. And your charge cannot be recovered. So this is a one-time shot. Takes up your missile, but it doesn't count as your attack. So that's kind of cool. So I could see you maybe wanting to use these on somebody with multiple missile slots. So you can actually have missiles equipped to shoot as well as this one. Or just have it on any old. Actually, it really doesn't matter because it's not taking up your attack. It doesn't really matter where you put it. But yeah, this one's nice. I could see this being nice on a higher initiative fighter or somebody with good maneuverability because it's at the start. Well, because you know you're going to be moving last, so you start the engagement phase. You're going to spend this. You're going to put it in a position so nobody's going to be moving right away, but you're dropping these, you know, basically you're launching these missiles ahead of time and then they're going to explode and then the Buzz Droids are going to be there and then you're kind of hoping that somebody flies through them. It's almost like you're laying a trap. Honestly, it really feels like these guys should have been a device more than a missile, but they are launched in a missile, so I think that's probably why. I think the missile upgrade was kind of one of the reasons why they're like, all right, we want to limit which ships it can go on. If we make it a device, then it could go on ships that maybe thematically shouldn't have it. So I think that's why they chose to go with a missile. But I could see this being a device because it feels more like a bomb that you're launching. But that's just me. So what happens? All right, you're dropping one of these. You're dropping a little token. It's a Buzz Droid Swarm. It has its own card because you can attack it. It's initiative 0. A single hit will kill it. It's not hard for it to die. However, it's got some text and you got a little token. When somebody moves through it, it's great. So here's what it says. After an enemy ship moves through or overlaps you, relocate to its front or rear guides. You are at range 0 of this ship. You cannot overlap an object this way. So, and you cannot be placed, if you cannot be placed at either set of guides, the front or the rear, you and the ship that you and the ship each suffer a damage. So, and during your initiative phase, during the engagement phase, each ship at range 0 of you suffers 1 crit. So here's the thing. If you're able to launch this, and you can line it up just perfectly, where you launch this and it overlaps somebody as you launch it, then they go straight onto that ship. They may take a crit. Now, it doesn't travel with them. It's not going to move automatically with them. However, if it ends up getting placed on front of somebody, then it's almost certainly going to move with them because they're going to overlap it, causing the same effect to trigger again and then carrying it with them. So while it doesn't automatically move with them, if you're able to shoot somebody in a way that like they're placing it, Now the thing is, after an enemy ship moves through or overlaps you, relocate this. So it sounds like if I'm shooting this, I get to place it on either the front or the rear because it's my card. the enemy ship moved through, so I get to place it. So one of the things you would generally want to do is place it on the front of a ship, so this way they're likely to move through it again. However, now, granted, they're moving through. You're placing it there. If they have barrel roll, they could then like almost immediately take a barrel roll off of it. But then you're kind of forcing their action. So like you really want to try and shoot at ships that don't have barrel roll. That's a nice option. This thing, they can be shot. They give you kind of an example here of somebody flying through, and then of course it moves and attaches to. In this case, they put it on the rear. It has to fit. Like if there's another ship there or something and it can't fit, then it's just going to do a damage to you. Damage is probably not as bad as it staying with you and doing a crit over and over again. The longer it happens to stay with you, and so that's kind of a bummer. It is also worth kind of pointing out that somebody like Arvel Krind, who can attack ships at range 0, if he ends up being in the front, well, that's no problem because he'll just shoot you and probably kill you. So that's interesting. But yeah, it's range 0. Somebody else can shoot it, but that's also a good thing because you're drawing somebody else's fire. So that's it's just a really fun thing. There's so many different weird ways this could work out where you can kind of force somebody to move a certain way. You can definitely manipulate or change up the plans of somebody's maneuvers. They now have to fly this way so that either they squish this stuff. It's just really cool. I'm really a big fan of the way that these Buzz Droids kind of look, the way that they're going to play. And it's cool because they have the 2 nips on one side, but then they have like grooves on the other side. So like if they go in the back, the grooves have to go in, and if they go on the front, the grooves go into either side, and the nips are only there if you're for when you're placing them. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's the Vulture Droid pack. Let me know what you're most excited about in this pack. I think it's definitely the Buzz Droids for me. And I'm kind of glad they made them limited to only 3 in a build. But even still, running 3 it's going to be, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a little bit chaotic. And I just like the idea of kind of changing people's plans around. So it seems very, very fun. I think there's several different ways that you can potentially counter them. A pre-maneuver barrel roll will get you off of them. There's a lot of different things. I think barrel roll is definitely the biggest one. And spinning, and it's all very thematic because it feels like the movies too. And that's one thing I think they're doing really well so far is they're capturing a lot of the feel of the Clone Wars in these expansions. So I have high hopes for the future. Because this is very cool stuff. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. And if you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell for alerts, leave me a comment, check out Crabbok.com, hop in my Discord, say hi, all of that good stuff. Click that bell for alerts. You don't want to miss out when I announce giveaway winners as well. I typically announce winners towards the end of the videos, so make sure you watch all the way through. I want to thank you so much again for watching, and have a great day.